Mexico. There's plenty of showers in Southern California as a result of some tropical moisture that's still ongoing throughout the Baja California part of Mexico. Pop-up showers occurring throughout the Sierra Nevadas, and plenty of rains on the eastern side of the Cascades. Western half, not much is happening, but still there's some showers and clouds still present. Yet there is a cold front that is moving through the Pacific Northwest and Northern California. Let's take a look at the current conditions. Okay, need a quick sip. Hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. I just need to position myself. Oh, man. Alright, I'm back. Okay. Let's see what we have. Throughout the Northeast, there's plenty of some onshore winds. Some of those onshore winds from Cape Cod all the way to Virginia Beach. Winds are probably about 20 to 30 miles an hour, and wind speed in some places, but just north of Cape Cod, just up to 20 miles an hour. But in the inland areas, you have winds that are virtually just moving to the north in many places that are moving up to 20 to 25 miles an hour there. We work our way towards the south. Start off with the southeast. Some onshore winds blowing from Virginia Beach all the way down to Miami. Blowing to the southwest and up to 20 miles an hour, but in the Outer Banks, just up to 30 35 miles an hour in some places. And in the Georgia coast, just up to 25 to 30. Then in places like Tennessee, Alabama, Mississippi, and points west, winds are moving to the north. In some places, they're blowing up to 20 miles an hour. But in Texas, especially Dallas, Fort Worth, and outside of which, blowing up to 25, and as well as parts of the Houston area. Midwest, as you can see, winds are generally blowing to the northeast from Ohio all the way to Kansas and Nebraska too. But in the Dakotas, some light and variable winds in some places. Hold on. Never mind. Winds are blowing to the north in the Dakotas, but they're blowing up to 25 miles an hour, and as well as many parts of the rest of the Midwest. And in the West, winds in the northern half of the west, they're blowing generally to the east, but some places they're blowing up to 30 miles an hour there. In the southwestern part of the country, although some winds are moving to the east, but some places like Las Vegas, they're blowing to the north-northeast. And other places, they may be blowing a little bit just light and variable in some places, though. Let's talk about temperatures. Let's start off with New England. The temperatures are in the 60s to low 70s. New York and Pennsylvania. Temperatures there, they're in the 70s to low 80s. In the New York City area, temperatures are in the upper 60s to low 70s. The Mid-Atlantic plus West Virginia, temperatures are in the upper 60s to mid-70s. Then we go down to the southeast. The Carolinas, in the Outer Banks, North Carolina, temperatures are at the mid-70s. Yeah, the rest of the Carolinas and Georgia and Tennessee, temperatures are in the 80s. Alabama, Mississippi, temperatures are in the They range from 79 in Huntsville to 93 in Montgomery. And temperatures are in the 80s in Mississippi. Plenty of mid-70s to upper 80s in Louisiana and Arkansas. Florida, temperatures are virtually in the 80s, except for Tampa, which is at 91, and Cape Coral 2. Oklahoma and Texas, let's see, it's quite cooler in Oklahoma with temperatures in the upper 70s to low 80s. Texas, temperatures are in the 80s and 90s overall. Yeah, it's quite calm in terms of winds in the panhandles of Oklahoma and Texas. In the Ohio Valley, you're seeing temperatures that range from 77 in Chicago to 82 in places like Louisville, Cleveland, and Columbus. In Wisconsin and Michigan, you got temperatures that range from the low 60s to the mid 70s. Then to the Dakotas and Minnesota, temperatures they're in Minnesota, they are in the mid 60s to mid 70s. The Dakotas range from the low 70s to low 80s, going down along the Missouri River Valley. Temperatures in Iowa, they're in the 70s, along with Nebraska, along with Kansas, but Nebraska also 70s, but all the way to 80 degrees in Chadron. In Missouri, temperatures range from 68 in Springfield to 86 in Cape Girardeau. Then we do have in the Northern Rockies, you get temperatures in Montana. They range, well, it's quite cold, quite chilly in the western part of Montana. The temperatures at 68 in Kalispell. Then you work your way to the east, where temperatures they're at 86 degrees in places like Gwinnett and Billings. Idaho, temperatures are in the 60s in the northern half. Southern half, they're in the 70s to low 80s. Wyoming, temperatures are in the 70s to low 80s. Then we have in Colorado, you get temperatures there. They're in the 70s to low 80s. Utah, temperatures range, they're in the 70s and 80s. Nevada, throughout much of the state, they're in the 70s, but going down, they're in the 80s to mid 90s. Then you work your way to the desert southwest. New Mexico, temperatures range from 79 in Gallup to 95 in Carlsbad. Then you get in Arizona, in the northern half of the state, temperatures range from 66 in Alpine to 86 in Kingman. And in the south, they're in the 90s. The coastal part of California, temperatures range from 62 in Eureka to 75 in San Diego, 77 in LA, and temperatures are in the upper 70s to low to mid 80s in the Bay Area, San Francisco. It's 93 in Indio and throughout the Central Valley, California, they're in the mid 80s to low mid 90s. In the Pacific Northwest, you get temperatures. In Oregon, they are in the 60s and 70s. So Washington State, it's the same story except for Trail, which is at 57 degrees. Let's talk about gusts. Well, plenty of gusts. They're moving up to 40 miles an hour in places like the Outer Banks, North Carolina, and as well as Naples, just up to 35 in gusts. In northwestern Ohio, just wind gusts are up to 40 miles an hour there. Up to 35 in places like St. Louis to Springfield. And in north central Texas. And plenty of 30s to 40s of gusts. In places like parts of the desert southwest to Wyoming and the northern Rockies. But some places in the northern Rockies, they're over 60 miles an hour in gusts. As well as parts of the Cascades. Well, those gusts may have to do with some severe weather that's been going on recently. And I did indicate to y'all that there's plenty of storms in places like the Great Lakes, all the way down to the lower Mississippi Valley, Texas, Minnesota, Missouri. Which is why you're getting in some of those places, wind gusts that are estimated to be as high as that. Up to 40 or 50. Humidity. Where's the humidity? Well, there's plenty of humidity, but they're all scattered throughout the country. Places like Louisiana, Panhandle of Florida, northeastern Alabama, all the way to Charleston, West Virginia, Cincinnati, St. Louis, Springfield, all the way to eastern Oklahoma, Wisconsin, International Falls. Your area, while your places like in the mid to upper teens in degrees Celsius wild. And you're also getting winds from Lake Superior. So that means you're getting some cooling. Yeah, as of right now. Which could be as much as like probably a little bit close to like 15 degrees Celsius in your area wild. Okay, I'm hearing background. Never mind. Humidity is still there in western Oregon. But dry weather's been such a thing in the Southwest all the way to Montana, and some drought would still be persistent in parts of New England and parts of the South. But should probably hold that off though. We'll take a look at the drought index right about now. This is as of, this is as of the 16th of September, which was about almost a week ago. I mean, they should update it in a few weeks, but the map was released 2 days later, though. So you can see there's been plenty of drought that's been going on in northern New England, parts in the middle part of the Mississippi Valley, southern Texas, and much of the west. But your area wild, not much though, even though it's not really accurate, but still, because it doesn't really cover Canada, unfortunately. But in places like the Bitterroot Mountains, all the way down to the desert Southwest and parts of the Cascades, it's quite dry, and which is quite a problem, because that means that in places like my area, there could be fall foliage as early, what used to be early November, to about probably late October, or even close to October 15th. Well, we'll see about that once we get further into the weather. Now, let's talk about rainfall accumulation. Well, rainfall estimates are about to be 2 to 4 inches in eastern Oklahoma, up to 2 to 3 inches in parts of Texas, south side of Dallas-Fort Worth, up to an inch or 2 in Cape Girardeau, and some spots get close to 2 inches of rain, maybe a little higher locally, though. Places like southeast of Minneapolis-St. Paul, parts of Detroit, your area wild, not so. And in the Rocky Mountains, northern Rockies, just up to an inch, maybe close to 2 inches, depending on where you are, like up in the mountains, down the valleys, whatever. But just so you know, it's best to consult with your local officials, local weather offices, just so that you guys can get better, accurate information, because sometimes, in some cases, you have an estimate of like 2 inches of rain, but in other places, they may estimate it to be about 3 inches of rain in reality, sometime, or 1 inch, whatever, or not at all. Point is, severe weather can offer the real data, the real measurements of precipitation, or even wind gust or wind speed and direction. That just depends on what type of storms it is, how intense they are, and such. I mean, these are just estimates, what you're seeing. That's some good news. Possibly early start to fall for you. Well, that may be great, Wild, but, I mean, great for me to take pictures, but sometimes That does indicate, though, that